Hello, everybody. Welcome back. We're totally not messing about with tech and trying to get this working. It totally works fine. Let me just double check that. That should be perfect, perfect, perfect. That should be perfect. We're back. I think we're back. Hello, Brian. Hello, Gaming with Silver Wolf. Let us know if you can hear us and all that crack and all that. We were fucking about talking shite when we should have been fucking actually getting ready to stream. It's totally, yeah. Shush. So welcome back. I'm totally not distracting anyone, and we should be ready. We should be ready. You can hear me. Richard, say hello.
Hello.
Right, you can hear Richard.
How was that?
Should be a
Good?
wee bit of background music. Nobody laugh at us. Hello, Jody. And then I just need to load one more page and we are ready to go. So, everybody, thank you for coming back tonight to a history of the true story of Revelations according to Richard. And we are working our way through Revelations. If Richard can find where we were.
It looks like we stopped at the beginning of 9, as your memory recalled.
Yes, I thought it was chapter 9.
I.
There. If you want one of the hoodies, then this should work. Let me see. We should be able to do that. And if the bot does what it's told, ba-dum, there you go. That's where you can buy. This one's limited edition though. The Is It Working? This is one of a kind. This is one of a kind. You're gonna have to do some special things to get this off me. Sharing the correct screen. Richard, you can see that?
Indeed, I can.
Perfect. So, first night, we really should get better at this. You'd think after like 16 weeks.
Maybe this is as good as it gets.
Oh, no. We can do better, man. We can do better. Loads of stuff on the Teespring thing. Yeah, you can buy like fucking iPhone covers and everything and all as well. Like Teespring just does it all for you. Wonderful Teespring. What sort of special things? Tote bags.
What kind of special things would they do to have to get the one you're wearing?
Oh, the one I'm wearing. Oh, Sam would have to do lots of special things. I want an entire packet.
Now he wants clarity.
Well, Sam works in the office, or Sam works in the store where I work, and I'm sick and tired of having to run and go look for gloves. So if you can steal me a big bag of them gloves just for myself, Sam. But, yes, I will have a sore neck looking up. I've got the stand too high. I know. Don't even talk to me. Don't even talk to me about it. Right. Revelations 9. We are going to start on that. Regardless of where we are or what we're doing, we are going to start on that. So let me change it so that the audience can see it. There we are. And the chat's working and it's perfect. It's set up. I had that fixed before we went fucking live. I did that. It's got a cool new purple colour. You should see it now. Glitches every now and again as well. It does this wee thing, you know.
Oh, I see it. Yeah, that's very nice. Pretty. Nice color.
Yeah, there's t-shirts and there's fucking all that sort of stuff on merch. But yeah, check out mathpig.com. All my links are there. All the ways to help the channel out are there. Everything helps. Everything's a big help. So, as usual, Richard, do you want to do a wee introduction of yourself for the people? I think Gaming with Silver Wolf hasn't been here tonight. So if you would like to say hello and are we like, who are you? Why are we doing this?
Right. Peace and respect to everyone and everyone who should ever watch this, and especially right now, side chat. Okay. So, how do I make this short? As an anti-theist, I might have read the Bible honestly. And when I did, it didn't say what Christians say. It says things that are plausible in reality. And if they're true, if the authors have a way to actually do what they claim that they can do, it's important that you hear about it. That's what I think.
What? I have a dinosaur now as a fucking alert. When did it become a dinosaur? It's supposed to be this cool swish thing, right? We need to sort that. I fucked that up. That's what happens when you tech. It's supposed to be swish. No. Darn it. Right. Ruining it. Ruined the whole show there, Richard.
Are you
Sorry.
certain your daughter just didn't get a hold of the phone?
That is a possibility. This is a definite possibility. She wiped 3 fucking hot shortcuts I had on my home screen, and one of the things that I used in the game, I put it in game. It's a website, but it's linked to my Amazon account for getting her extra Pokemon Go stuff. So I put it in the game folder. That's not a game.
Yeah.
Deleted it. Reorganized it, created a new page and all. I got up the next day and there's like 30 pictures of Pokemon on my phone, and completely reorganized my homepage. For her. For herself. Because it's better.
For herself, of course, yeah.
You know, and about 14, well, maybe not 14, but about 6 new games downloaded. I wanted to see how good I was, Daddy. I just, it's a good game. Yeah. So, anyway.
What is she, 5, 6 years old, something like that?
Just turned, she's 5 in February. 5 in February passed. 5 February passed. We're going to Kong. For anybody in the audience who's old and would remember the movie, no, I can't remember it because I've thought
Gone
about
with the
it.
Wind.
No, it's with
Sound of Music.
John Wayne in Ireland.
John Wayne in Ireland.
Yes, he pretended to be. He was acting as an Irish guy. It was something to do. The something man. Anyway, it's a place. It's in the fucking arsehole of nowhere. There's nothing about but mountains and fucking sheep and fucking falcons and all this ass shit. Like, it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be fun. Richard, before I start talking about fucking all about Elena, and the 5th angel sounded, would you like to start us off?
Oh, sure. And the 5th angel sounded, and I saw a star fall from heaven unto the earth, and to him was given the key of the bottomless pit. And yeah, we talked about this a little bit last time, but that's okay. All right, so I think the Christians find this part very, very confusing, and they actually like mix up like the king of the over the bottomless pit with Satan, and then you have the key to the bottomless pit, so that's a bad thing too. And
The
anyway,
quiet man.
the quiet man. Okay.
Quiet
Well, I'll
man.
be sure to not watch that very soon. So I think what this is talking about here is some kind of a machine object, and I think that because of all the conversation we had, and I'll review quickly the description that's in the book of Enoch, that when this thing falls into the ground, it vaporizes anything it touches. It just creates a bunch of smoke out of anything it touches. So that's a lot of energy. It'd take a lot of energy to do something like that. And
Oh, we did. We talked about the locusts, and we talked about commanding them. I think we're at 4 then. No, hurt the grass. We did talk about that.
Yeah.
Right, we're at
I
chapter
know
5.
we're somewhere in 9.
Chapter 5. Or verse 5, sorry.
Yeah, that would be the next thing there. Let's see. Seals in their foreheads. Okay, very good. And to them it was given that they should not kill them. That is, it was given to the scorpion.
Yeah.
That they should not kill them, being people, but that they should be tormented 5 months. And their torment was as the torment of a scorpion when he striketh a man, like a scorpion sting. In other words, not killing you, but hurts like crazy.
Yes,
Something
we
like
talked
that.
about this. They're sort of tracker jackers. If anyone's watched the Mockingbird series, they're like tracker jackers. Something like that.
I don't know that reference.
It doesn't kill you. It causes you instant pain. It's like a big giant locust wasp thing with a fucking stinger.
Oh, they stole that right out of this text.
You said something very similar last week.
Yeah, but you're good at finding modern references to these old stories. So I think I'm just agreeing.
I don't say that they're modern references to these stories. Well, I wouldn't say that they're modern references to these stories, but I'm just pointing out that in modern culture, these things have saturated that much that these ideas, as with a lot of things in media and stuff now in movies, they regurgitate everything. People are out of fucking ideas, you know.
I can see that as a valid point. Yeah.
It's not that they're out of ideas, but given enough time, the same things will repeat.
And in those days shall men seek death, and shall not find it, and shall desire to die, and death shall flee from them. I think that's pretty darn expressive. I mean, it's obvious that death doesn't have a mind to avoid someone. What's that?
It's going to be awful. They would rather die after
it,
but they're not going to be able to die because death is fleeing them or flee from them, as in, you know, they're not going to get it. Just simply, they're not going to get
it. Yeah. And the shapes of the locust, this is what parts I find interesting, were like unto horses prepared unto battle. Horses prepared unto battle have armor. That is to say, like metal plates and stuff. And on their heads were, as it were, a crown of gold, and their faces were as the faces of men, and they had hair as the hair of a woman, and their teeth were as teeth of lions, and they had breastplates. Here we are back to the horses, as it were breastplates of iron, and the sound of their wings was the sound of chariots, and many horses running to battle.
Right.
And they had tails. What's that?
Okay, no. Finish the description. Makes point. Finish the description.
And they had tails like unto scorpions, and there were stings in their tails, and their power was to hurt men 5 months, which is repetitive. They just said that, but okay, yeah. What's the brain thing that happened to you?
Probably lost because I just looked at what Brian Stevens said in the chat, and then looked back again, and then looked at it because I thought he'd misspelled something, and looked back, and you talked to me, and it's lost.
Okay, so there seems nothing natural about these. They are a hodgepodge of different stuff, and they sound like chariots.
Oh yes,
being drug into battle.
Right, that's what I was going to say. The chariots running into battle. That is a. It's not a noise I can see being created by wings because it's very basic.
Right. Yes.
Right. Anything you see like drones and shit like that, they're very high pitched.
Yeah, but I think that's also dependent on the size of the wings or props on the drone.
And don't get me wrong, airplanes and shit like that there would be more basic.
Yeah, and how many there are could also affect how it sounds.
I don't know. I'm thinking they're low-tech aliens now because they're using jet. That's the only, the only way to fly with a bassy noise is sort of jet.
No, I think these things literally fly by flapping their wings. That's the image that I get from this.
Well, if there's a wing flapping, I would. If anyone can show me a frequency of wing flapping that's below and considered a bassy range, I will consider it. There's homework for you.
For a whole bunch of reasons that probably wouldn't make sense to anybody but me, I imagine their wing length is about 9 inches long. So, not like that, yeah, like the length of your hand plus a little bit.
So they're double that, and some change.
So unlike like regular locusts and grasshoppers and katydids and all kinds of stuff like that, they're maybe 3 inches long. To have like a 9-inch wing, I don't know what kind of noise that would make. I've just never seen a bug that big.
I'm feeling physics as in the higher the bigger the wing, the higher the frequency.
No, think of it as drums.
Yeah, no, if you were going slower. We're talking physics of wings here, but
right.
A dragon.
Well, it's I mean, the wing structure has like these hard parts, and then it has the flexible part in between. So it's probably better to think of it like.
But the point you're making though is it's mechanical. The point you're making is it's mechanical.
Yeah.
It's a robot.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking low-tech robots with jet engines because they're
That's fine for now. I think it's good enough for this conversation. Yeah, and like for instance, I think their look is intimidating on purpose, and I think the crowns are just for them to like pry in through screens and wire and stuff like that.
If I can ask you, what is the difference between the hair of a woman and the hair of a man? Is it to do with the softness and the smell, and one uses lavender, or is it to do with the length?
Well, actually, biblically, a man is supposed to grow his beard and keep his hair short.
Right. So short hair.
So long hair is woman hair.
So that's what I'm saying. It's to do with the length. Yeah. That was. Yeah.
I would think so. Yeah.
Right.
It's not because they moisturize it every 3 days. That's not why.
Lavender. I used to have hair. Faces of men. So we've got locusts with wings and bad jetpacks and stingers like a scorpion with a man's face and long hair. Is that what we're trying
and
to
lion's
picture?
teeth.
And lion's teeth, obviously. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a bit of a hodgepodge.
It is. And since it's so horribly appropriate right now.
Yes, you have that picture, don't you?
Oh, sorry, wrong one.
That's the cool
sorry,
one.
wrong one. Where the heck did I put it? Ah, here it is. There we go.
But yeah. What's with the mask and the crown though? In the picture, is that saying that you showed this picture last time? It is more relevant.
It's a man's face. It's like a masculine face, and
No,
it's got a crown.
but it's
a
a lot
ridiculous
more,
teeth.
Yeah, it's a lot more relevant now. I'm having to tip my fucking head. Can you convert that and turn it around? Hold on, let me see.
Ask me if I know how to do something. I don't know how to do that. Sorry.
Right, well, hold on. Let me see if I can do that. Right. Whoosh for the audience, and then I'll try my best to clockwise. Is that what we need to do?
Well, it's whooshed big.
Oh,
I can say that.
I've done it the wrong way around. I went whoosh the wrong way.
Oh, now it's upside down.
Yeah, I should have went this way.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm talking about a delay.
There we go. So we got that for the audience.
Don't be impressed if you like the art. It's not my art. A friend of mine did that for me, based on what I asked him to do. So yeah, it's mechanical. It's not like actually alive, although it is animated. I mean, it's all metal, and circuits and stuff.
And stuff.
And stuff. Don't forget the stuff.
I like your font.
Yeah, that's
I just have to say, whatever font that is, I'm quite fond of the font.
It's called Picket Fence.
Oh.
And I printed that.
Oh, so this is a picture of a print, not a digital one.
Yeah, like he drew on it, and then I wrote the words, quote unquote, behind the drawing.
Right, you can come back now.
That's a calligraphy pen and a friend of mine's pencil drawing. Yeah, that's what that actually is.
You can come back now.
I tried to make it look, like the spacing was correct.
Oh no, it looks well. No, it's something similar to the new what do you call I have? The new thumbnail that I got.
Yeah. Yeah, it's definitely in that neighborhood. So okay. So they're intended to make people still on the earth, that is those who have not ascended, those who decided not to ascend for their own personal reasons, be what they may.
And right, can I just point out, okay? You were saying decided not to ascend?
Ascend, yes.
Right. So they have decided not to ascend. The way being. Okay, yeah, but you're reinforcing it again, okay? They were given an option of alien overlords taking over and believing that they were God. They did not believe that the aliens were God. Can we say it that way instead?
I think I'm confused by the sentence structure. I'm going to ask you to paraphrase.
The way you were putting it, they chose not to ascend.
Right.
Okay? So that implies that they know that it's God and they chose not to. But no. If I can finish, okay, and say and just put my point across, okay. Let me get out. The actual what's happening is aliens have came to Earth, and these people don't believe that this person is God and here to save them, even though he's told them, "I'm going to destroy the Earth, and take all your resources. If you don't come with me, you're dead." So they've, for whatever reason, either it could be rebel, it could be lack of belief in the person, it could be a lot of reasons. It's not a choice not to ascend.
Okay. I think you've skipped to about halfway through the second half of End Times in your time frame in your mind to say it the way that you said it. Okay, and I think this is before all that. The initial judgment and opportunity to ascend. I mean, it's just going to look like an alien invasion, and then
Yes, but it's
these,
nope. Go on ahead.
and then these things that look like angels, come and force us to be measured and separate us by where we were born in the zodiac, or
If I
whatever
can say
zodiac
again,
you
you
use.
say look like angels, but I know what your description of angels is, and it's not the same description as what a lot of Christians believe angels to be.
How's it different?
Well, what you've described these people as coming aren't this long angelic with wings and sort of things like.
Yeah, I haven't talked much about the clothes, but the classical idea of an angel is apparently right according to the text.
Of with
I'm
wings.
just saying they're advanced, yeah, including like the wing thing. They fly somehow, whether it's by natural wing or propulsion or something.
Well, if the
but
physical
they fly.
description is to be real, then they must have physical wings for it to be described that way.
Yeah, that's what I think. And the only claim of them having individual ones having wings is in the book of Ezekiel, when someone's trying to pretend to be them and they have fake wings. But
Okay.
never does it say in the text that angels have wings. It actually doesn't. It just says they fly.
Is that not right? I can't make this claim. Like that's a big enough claim that there's no description in the Bible except
one,
when
yeah.
somebody tries to say that they are imitating them, and in the description
Yeah.
of the imitation they describe
Sure.
wings. Is that the claim?
Right. Yes, and the only way that a person could interpret it as angels have physical, naturally occurring wings is if they refer to the seraphim, which are the six-winged beast around God's throne, which aren't even alive.
No, don't get me wrong. From a skeptic sort of point of view, if you had a description of somebody imitating something, and it was
Sure.
and it had this, you would obviously say there's a bit of flamboyance and stuff in it, but you could take
Sure.
it with, if they said there was wings, you would assume that's a big thing. If you're talking about the color of their eyes or something like that, it's the.
Okay.
I'm giving it a wee bit more strength because it's a description of it. But if there's no direct description of an angel with wings, I would be very much appreciative to hear that.
Yeah, there isn't one.
I know that's your
You have to
claim.
assume.
Well, I'm not asking you. I'm asking someone in the audience. Right now in the audience, we actually have a person called has their Catholic in their name, so based Catholic. Thank you for coming. We have Akadesh.
Well, he'll have to use either Ezekiel or Seraphim to make that claim. And from what I understand, Ezekiel is a book about Satan and his kind, and then Seraphim are non-living entities. They're beast.
Right. Well, I don't know. I don't know the Bible that well to say that I can quote it myself.
Right.
So
I know. You're probably your whole life Christians have said to you, "Oh, angels have wings." They really don't have anything in the Bible to base that on except for those two references.
Well, I can't say for definite that I've heard a reference of it from the Bible from a guy in a pulpit screaming at me, but there is definitely an awful lot of visual ones of that, and visual things from probably going back to medieval times. I know that I've seen with angels with wings. So it's been around a long time of that idea.
Yeah, it's a tradition.
We shall see.
It's
homework
a
for the live
doctrine.
chat. That's homework for the live chat. There's 10 people watching. Somebody will be arsed.
Yeah, it's a doctrine. It's literally not in the text. You can't find some place where it says, anything about Michael having wings. You're not going to find that. Okay, let's see where we were. Teeth of lions, breastplates, running in battle, tails, scorpions. Okay, yeah, 11, I guess.
Yeah.
And Christians are not going to like what I'm about to say. And they had a king over them, which is the angel of the bottomless pit, whose name in the Hebrew tongue is Abaddon, but in the Greek tongue hath his name Apollyon.
Right, stop.
Yeah.
Okay. So, and they had a king over them. So the they is the people on earth who are suffering for 5 months.
Scorpions. Topic here, scorpions.
Okay, so that's what I'm asking for clarification. I'm just making sure. Okay. The taste of scorpions strength and the power was to her from it, and they had a king over them, which bottomless pit. Right. So were the scorpions.
Right.
That's the clarification. So the scorpions had a king, and the king is called Abaddon or Apollo, basically.
Yeah, it's Apollo. That's correct in the English.
Yeah. So, Okay, right. We're Abaddon.
So
Abaddon. I know Apollo. Abaddon in English.
Abaddon, it means the destroyer.
Do we have like Apollyon? I can make a reference of Apollo.
Apollo.
I have the
Right.
idea in my head of who he is, son of Zeus, and all
Sure.
that sort of crack, and his hierarchy and the fucking thing. Abaddon. Can you
Yeah.
make a reference to someone who I would know that would be Abaddon?
Abaddon. You just don't know the story. It's Abaddon. That
I'm
is
asking
the
for
story.
one that I would know because I know about Apollo, so I'm asking about one.
Well, it says that's the same being. Different name, different tongues, but same being. One king over the bottomless
So
pit.
Abaddon is
Same.
just this one. You know, I understand. Right, I'm missing the point. Sorry. Apollo in Apollo. That has also been taken in other myths and other stories, and there's a subtext there that's Apollo. Has the word Abaddon been used in other stories that would be similar to the Apollo story that I've not heard of, but their god is Abaddon? Like some.
Oh, sure. I think he's also Hermes. He's also Michael. He's also called
Michael as in what? The
Michael, the angel Michael.
Okay. Right.
He's the number one guy. He's the messenger. He's God's right hand. He's
Yeah, how did you go from that to a guy who's the angel of the bottomless pit?
It's not the angel of. It's the angel. It's the king over.
It literally says, which is the angel of the bottomless pit.
Yes.
I know of is a word you have problems with in the English language, but it literally says that right there in front of us.
Well, I like sticking with the larger idea words. Like in the Greek, this is not going to read, and they had a
I'm
king
just saying,
over them.
okay, regardless
Well,
of the
hold on, let me
fucking...
finish. It's going to make sense. Hold on. There's a point to it. They had a king over them, right? And it's going to talk about the king of the bottomless pit a little bit later. And Christians say it's a because they like the idea of my God's right and all the rest of them are false. That makes Abaddon and Apollo false demigods, right? So they have to diminish them, even though it's only talking about Michael in different languages, in different religions. So he's not the king in the bottomless pit like he lives there. He's a king over and an angel.
Oh, no. I didn't take that he was a king living in the bottomless pit as in thinking he was Satan or anything like that.
Oh, okay. Well, never mind then.
Yes, that's what I'm... Yeah. But the fact that he's the angel of it, why would that person of the right hand...
Right.
You know, he's in charge of the bottomless pit. He don't live there. Just when we opened it up, he's the guy that I told to go and sort shit.
Yeah, he's the one in charge of like the whole operation of this.
Okay.
Michael, apparently. So he's the one that, flips the cover and hits the red button.
So the right hand man, so it's not Michael, the voice of God, the wonderful person who only spreads messages and joy.
Michael is also a destroyer, though. He destroys the planet.
Right. Well, it doesn't say he destroys the planet in the Bible general interpretation.
Sure it does.
In the general interpretation.
Sure it does.
I'm not
It does
sure.
say like there's a large percentage of Christians that understand Michael conducts the whole thing.
So he's
especially
literally the
Mormons.
right hand general. Sorry,
Yeah.
Can we use the word general, or would he be sergeant major, or what do you want to go? You're the military
his
man.
his name means him like God. It's a literal translation with a surety, not maybe. He's the one who's like God. Like, wow, he's number 2 dude.
Yeah, you generally think that Jesus would be like God over Michael, but okay.
What makes you think Michael isn't a past Jesus?
Going by your, all right, I'll give you that, because internal critique and
That's
all
where
that.
that's where the Mormons picked up on that. Joseph Smith and his crew picked up on that. Not that they told the truth about everything, they didn't, but that's okay. Okay, so
Do you believe that he found them golden plates and did that whole fucking? You've seen the South Park episode, like.
no, I haven't seen the South Park episode, but I do know the story, or at least the basics of
They
the story.
parody it, but they tell the truth, so to a certain point, but they make it jokeable. And every time that, what do you call his name, John Smith?
Mm-hmm.
Every
Joseph,
time John Smith finishes speaking, they have a little song in the background that's like dum 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 da dum dum dum, and then every time somebody would counteract him, they're like smart 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 smart. It's quite funny.
I love South Park. I'd have to see it to really
Oh,
appreciate
I
it. Of
haven't seen
course,
it in fucking years. But
no,
anyway,
I understand, but you understand that it's an ad hom fallacy to say he was a known shyster who ripped off millions of people, or I'm sorry, lots of people for probably hundreds or thousands of dollars back in his day, and because that he must be wrong.
the whole story about him having to jump between county borders and hide and stuff like that. There, I've read
Sure,
it.
that's all true.
Yeah, I've read a wee bit about that, like, you know.
But I don't know.
Because of it is not a reason, but it's definitely a motive. Would you agree with that?
What was a motive for what?
Okay, well, you say that people say because he was jumping between and being the person he was, that
He
what
was a shyster.
he was a shyster, right? Because he was a
Sure.
shyster, what he found that made him money, you know, could still be true, even though he was a shyster.
Oh yeah, it could
Right.
be.
So saying that that is a definitive reason for it is wrong. But would you agree that looking at it, that because he was a shyster, it could be taken as a motive to do these things?
I think the whole starting the church thing was a way for him to use it to make money, and all the stuff that he invented to give that credibility, like the golden plates and Moroni. There's no angel called Moroni. There can't be. That doesn't even make sense.
You haven't read the Golden Plate.
I haven't read the Golden Plates. No one's read including Joseph Smith has read. No one has read the Golden Plates. But anyway,
Someone stole them. That's right. Yeah.
oh no, he's supposed to have been able.
Let's
to
not
read
talk
them or
about that,
review
right?
them in
No,
some way,
come
but
on. One
anyway,
crazy
all this-
religion is enough for tonight.
but that doesn't mean that everything he said is wrong or that he didn't receive anything in prayer. He was just so dishonest that he would use things that were like real and important for his own personal benefit.
You would agree with what I'm saying over what your problem is with people saying that is that he deliberately did it to make money, and I'm saying
Oh
that when
yeah,
they look
I
at
have
it,
no doubt. Yeah.
they looked at it, it's definitely a motive.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
All right? Doing what he did was a motive, but because of what he did, it doesn't mean that it's not true. So we're in agreement.
That's right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hello, Kafefi.
What is that? Cafe?
Cafe?
Yeah, cafe. You say
Kafefi?
cafefi.
I always say Kafefi.
It's just like saying like where do you go to buy coffee that's already made?
No, Kafefi sounds better. Sorry.
It's cafe. But anyway.
Call it my pet name. Right.
Well, if he can stand it, then the rest of us can too, I guess.
Okay, 12. Go on ahead.
No. I still I want something I've been holding on. So Christians think those demigods are fake gods, and that the Greek and I don't know why the Hebrew would think that that Abaddon is some bad guy just because the name means destroyer, when the Christian understands that Michael's going to destroy the earth. So there's all that.
Is there a reference anywhere what is the reference that you're using that Michael destroys the earth?
Oh,
or it directly says Michael and I'm a destroyer, you know, or Michael, I'm destroying the earth. Where's that verse?
It's a two-step.
Pardon?
It's 2 steps. There's not a singular verse that says that. Okay.
And I know you don't do fucking numbers in verse.
Well, the idea is Michael's in charge, and then the story describes because these events, the earth is destroyed. It's as simple as Michael's in charge of the earth's getting destroyed.
Right, but where's the 2 steps? Sorry, I looked at the chat because if I can refer to ask us,
Okay.
Could you type your name phonetically in the chat so I can say it properly, or can I just call you Roy because it's nice? So, a notable atheist means well known, since we don't know about the unknown, which are likely relatively older. You're talking to a load of atheists that are unknown, rather than taking what a known atheist says, because a lot of us in this chat would have problems with what would be referred to as known atheists and famous atheists and stuff. So rather than make statements, you know, ask questions, you know, find out and get to know the people in the chat. We're all friendly, you know. Spartan does be around here sometimes. We do have Christians here. We're accepting of all, like, you know. So ask questions and get to know people, you know. Richard's just the craziest of us all. That's why he's on screen. You know.
Fair enough. Yeah, I don't get the topic of all that. But anyway, I was looking at side chat.
No, you're
But
fine.
okay, I think I would just go on to the next part.
That's if we could just finish that and catch that back, because I did cut it off and then we looked at the live chat. Abaddon and Apollo were making a reference to as Michael. We're making a reference then from Michael to the Destroyer. And I'm asking you for your thing, and you said there's a 2-step. The last thing I heard before I looked at the live chat was there's not a single verse that says Michael is the Destroyer. And when I looked back again, you said Michael's the Destroyer. And you just finished, and I had no idea what fucking seconds.
Okay, it was very easy and short, actually. Yeah. Michael's the right-hand man. Although Michael doesn't decide, the Father decides when it's done. But Michael's the right-hand man. He's the conductor of the thing. The earth is destroyed. No more sea. Mountains melt like wax.
So it's
lake of lava.
Right. So you're going from Michael being the right-hand man to inferring that the right-hand man is the Destroyer.
Conducts it. Well, it's not. Gabriel's not mentioned that way. Uriel is not mentioned that way. Only Michael is.
Michael, as the right-hand man.
Yeah.
What is the phrase that they're using? Like that. This is what I'm.
Oh my gosh, I'd have to go and find phrases for you. I mean,
it's just a Bible verse where Michael's described as Google. Michael is described as the right-hand man. Enter.
Well, you know, Gabriel is something like a speaker of God. Michael means him like God.
It's no. If you just want to say it's something you're inferring, and a lot of Christians do as well.
It's not explicitly said anywhere.
It's not explicitly said anywhere. And along and aligning with mainstream Christianity, which you call out an awful lot, but aligning with mainstream Christianity, their inference.
Weirdly enough,
the inference is that Michael is the Destroyer. So right. And then from that, another inference, another idea, another step, where there's no direct verse to say so, you're saying Abaddon and Apollo is also Michael. And mainstream Christianity says that as well.
Yeah, and also one of the forms of Shiva, the Destroyer, this great hideous woman with a big black tongue, that's also Michael.
Okay, so to get to you saying that Apollo and Abaddon is Michael the Destroyer of the earth, there's two big steps where there's no Bible verses, and then one.
Right. It's just it's implied. It's not directly said anywhere.
It's implied through something else that was implied through a verse.
Right.
So
that's not quite fair, but yeah, it's good enough for now.
I'm leading the conversation.
It's not implied through something else that's implied. Michael's in charge, and the earth's destroyed. 2 steps.
Okay. Hi, Ox. Hi, Cryptomania. Yeah. Okay. So a couple of steps to get there. Just one small step for man, one giant leap for Christianity.
Yeah, it's a leap they can't make, that Abaddon and Apollyon are other stories from other religions about Michael.
And can you see where we as people looking at that from a non-theist, skeptical point of view would have issues?
Sure.
Good. That's all we need. As long as you understand, then we can work through it. Right. You're wrong, I'm right. Go ahead.
So one woe is now past means that was a woe. That was referred to earlier as the 3 woes, right? So the scorpion are a woe. All right, fair enough.
Right.
And behold, there come 2 woes more hereafter.
Right. You're fucked for 2 more times. Right.
Yeah. And the 6th angel sounded. We're almost running out of angels here. There's only 7 of them.
Yeah, I was going to say that.
And the 6th angel, we need 2 woes in a row, one with each of these angels.
Well, that's what I assumed that as soon as you said 6, I was like, right, fuck straight after each other. There's 2 angels left, 2 woes coming.
It's always 7, yes.
Yeah.
Except for the woes. 1 woe is past. Okay, and the 6th angel sounded, and I heard a voice from the 4 horns of the golden altar, which is before God. Now, the Christians take that to be a literal, physical, golden altar on which you burn things, having literal,
We had this
physical
discussion. This is a
horns.
second, right? This is a second.
Horrible.
If we can say though, this is a second reference to a golden sort of altar sort of thing in front of God. So going with
Yep.
mainstream Christianity, that would be second, because it's saying it's there.
Yeah.
The people who haven't watched before, would you like to give your inference of what this
Yeah,
is?
it's this planet. This is the altar.
Earth is an altar.
And the reason that it's before God is because God's parked in the sky in this scene. So it's what he's looking at.
Right, you just said it yourself.
What?
It's what he's looking at.
I mean, he expressively, there is no he, God. It's just a way to say it.
So how does a group of ideas look?
It doesn't.
So it is, God is a committee of older past
Yeah, it's actually
Jesuses.
referring to all the angels.
All the old past Jesuses, I think we discussed before.
And everyone who ascended and accepted and lives there, all of
Oh,
them.
so literally heaven then?
Yeah, literally all of those beings in heaven is God.
So it's everybody in heaven.
Sure.
Right. Well, heaven being a word that the Christians would use and the Bible would use, that's annoying. See, I like the positioning, but I keep knocking it.
Yeah.
There we
You'll get used to it.
I'm going to go with that. Why not just use the word heaven? It's saying something different than God.
I think there's the anthropomorphization lends some personal emotional attachment as if there were a singular being to be concerned with.
But if it's everybody in heaven, why not say heaven? Like earlier when we were discussing where it says, go forth and find only them people. It's the way the wording is. And I know you have problems with off and the and stuff. But these words with direct translations do imply some things. So when you say go forth and find only this person, you're saying there's other people around there. By saying God, you're implying one thing, but what you're describing is basically heaven.
Yeah, all of heaven, yeah.
Right. Well, all of
but
heaven?
Not the structure.
Half of
not
heaven?
the structure, the inhabitants. Not the structure.
Yes.
Right.
But that's not what I would take from the implication of this sentence.
But it does. You said, why doesn't it just say it and be plain and clear? And that's a good question. It's a good point. But it does several times.
I'm not saying
says,
clear.
no.
Let me just say, I'm not saying clear. I didn't say clear. I didn't say clear. I didn't say clear.
You didn't use the word clear. That's true. I thought I was in the spirit of what you meant.
Clear.
If I'm not, please correct me.
Well, clear has an implication because it's either this and that's the only other way. I'm not saying it's the only other way. I'm just saying that God implies something else. If you said to me, instead of everybody in heaven, if you said to me, it's the committee of older Jesuses from other planets, which we've discussed before, as you've used as a reference to God, when this sort of thing has happened in private conversations, there's been an implication of a personification of God. And your previous answer was it was the committee, the grouping of older Jesuses.
Sure.
Right? If you'd have said that, I wouldn't have jumped on it because we've discussed that before. Right? But now, in this time, you're taking it as an implication of all of heaven. So that's why I'm having issues with it.
The difference would be whether or not we were talking about command, like enforcing God. That would be a Jesus thing, versus like celebrations like this, where they're all just like conducting end times. Those in heaven would be watching it happen.
So if it's a happy time, then it's a grouping of people, and if it's a bad time, where there's a general needed,
well, there's responsibilities, and then there's celebrations, right? So the most adult ones take care of the responsibilities.
No, I'm talking warfare. I'm talking warfare, right? So when there's warfare and God is mentioned, we're talking about a committee and ex-Jesus.
And probably not all of those in heaven. They're not really involved in something like that.
Right, so that's a choice you're making.
I think it's implicit. I think it's necessary.
It's necessary to align with your story. If people just said God's a person and God's a person, it can be this, and it works with this and it works with the past one, with standard Christianity.
Sure.
So it's a necessity to align with your belief.
Yeah, I mean, I believe it because it makes sense with everything else that I believe. It's kind of a coherence theory.
Right. Oh, well, to
Yeah.
be coherent, don't get me wrong, you know, being coherent for you and aliens and all that crack, but there's a definite difference. And you're making
Oh
that
yeah.
choice. Well, not making that choice, but you're inferring it from it, and it's under your understanding that in this
Sure.
instance, when we talk about God, it is an actual person, entity, physical being, ex Jesus. But when we're talking about it in a sense where it's a happier moment where everybody's watching it, it's all of heaven, the people in all of heaven.
Sure, and it says, and all the angels and all the saints. It uses phrases like that to describe
In
this
certain
situation in
incidences,
certain.
but not in this one.
I don't know. I'd have to read all of it that applies here, and then say, well, it's right here too. In
It
this
just says
way or
golden
whatever.
altar, which is before God.
Right.
And you're taking that as everyone in heaven. Angels, all the
Yes.
old ex Jesuses. Yeah.
Well, okay. Let's say there is only 29 spaceships of heaven, and whoever's been there for however long is who's there in it. And they arrive to the planet, alien invasion. We're all scared, poop our pants, right?
I'm just ringing you. No, I
Then-
can't even ring you.
Then everyone from heaven is either participating or it's kind of a big deal. They're probably watching the show. I mean, it's a bigger deal than OJ,
Bigger than Johnny Depp and Amber Heard.
bigger than Amber Heard. Yes.
That was a big poo she put in the bed, though. Like.
I don't know how big it was, but she's not a very big person. But this is a big deal to the angels and saints. Okay.
Yes, but the
So
point is,
this
in
would be
this,
like their favorite TV show ever.
yes, and they can watch the TV show. But the point I'm pointing out is, as you've agreed in previous conversations when we've talked about this, you have used God as a group of ideas or this older committee of older Jesuses, this committee of older Jesuses who have done their job. God is this grouping of this, sort of thing. So if you'd have said that, I just would have moved on. People would have been weird
Right.
and what the fuck. I'd have moved on because I know that. But why in this incident didn't they use the word heaven? Because it is a grouping of heaven. This is first or maybe second, but not enough times as the committee to be in my mind, to be discussed as God in this way.
Okay.
Right? And I'm asking you, why didn't they use the word heaven?
I don't know. Personal choice.
Okay, and I'm now pointing out, as we've discussed, the inference of this is on you to be consistent with your belief.
Right.
Boom, done. That was really well done compared to 3 weeks ago where we actually didn't understand each other and screamed. My point's made. If you
Hey, I
want-
can learn things, you know.
Oh, no. You were great. Whenever I said I didn't say it clear, you were like, fucking not doing that shit again. I'm going to be quiet now and let him explain.
You're right. You didn't use the word clear. Let me be clear about that.
Right. If anyone hasn't watched, like, not 2 weeks ago, which was our last show, the one before that, we were fucking... I didn't fucking say that! You fucking implied it. I fucking didn't! It was great.
It happens about every fourth show. Hang around, guys.
I tweeted out earlier, how many verses will it take for us to scream at each other? Come watch the aliens.
So the rationale for me is again, I take the Bible as a singular piece of literature, not as different books actually, having a singular authorship and a singular idea of author, of authorship. So everything agrees with everything, and so in my reading frame, there are no actual contradictions within any of it.
Yes, there's no contradictions, but you're making that... It's like we did the two-step inference earlier to get to Michael.
Yeah.
You're making this inference to be consistent in your belief. I'm not saying that you're wrong. Yeah, well, I sort of fucking am. I'm just saying that particular step that you're making that disagrees with Christianity, you're making that step personally by yourself from the implication that you're getting to be consistent with your beliefs.
Okay, so here's some reasonings. I don't know if anyone even cares. Here's some reasonings.
We went up
when
5 people since the last time I looked and we shouted at each other, so people are listening.
Okay.
Ah!
Okay, the four horns or four cardinal directions are the locations of the four seraphim or beast around God's throne, held against the great river Euphrates, or all of the great bodies of water on the planet, posed ready at a moment's notice to remove the oceans.
Right.
So the horns of the altar are the four cardinal directions.
Are you basically saying that if the world was flat and there was cats and they pushed things off the edge, the seraphim are actually cats? They're going to just...
Yeah, I have no idea what any of that meant, but okay.
Why we're here. Nobody knows what any of this means.
Well, they're poised to draw up the oceans to cause the destruction of the planet. That's how they do it, right? And that's timed to when Jesus dies on the cross. That's important. So you get the great quaking of the earth the moment he dies, right? And so they're out of sight. Those four things are out of sight.
Making the joke, if the world was flat,
they would be cats.
Do you get the joke now? Now that you're finished,
sort of. I don't know that cats are notorious for pushing things off of tables. I haven't experienced that.
Supposedly they are.
Okay, I'm willing to believe whoever's asserting that's their experience. I'm sorry, we didn't let cats up on the counter and on the table to shove things off. That's not cat places. And you train the cats to not do that.
6 months with a kitten from the start and trained both the kitten and the dog to not eat each other. Cat was a bitch, she'd always grab his nose, but the dog was very good. In fact, she wouldn't stop jumping on the bench. You had to.
Oh, wait a minute. How do you keep a cat from going someplace voluntarily?
No, but
how do you train it to not go there?
I'm not going to go into the actual treatment.
Yes, we are.
No, we're not right now. We're talking. The end of the world, man, is not made up by cats pushing shit off the flat earth.
Cats don't belong on tables.
Right. Moving on. Trumpet
just
angels.
For the audience, super quick. If you want a cat to stay away from something, beat the crap out of the something, not the cat.
Hello, Surfing. Hi. So Surfing is actually not just to confirm. Surfing Hyde, the cat lady, is confirming they're a cat. So, point proven.
There you go. Well, I guess it is cats. All right, then. Never mind. All right, so moving on then. The four seraphim are indeed cats, and the earth is a table.
Held up by turtles.
All the way down. Which are holding up elephants, which are holding up the earth. So
15. Are we on 15?
Right,
we're on 15. Come on.
I have no idea.
Yeah, we're on 15. I just looked.
Oh, here. And the four angels were loosed, which were prepared for an hour and a day and a month and a year, for to slay the third part of men, or the last part, the lowest part.
We were talking thirds earlier, so I can, and you made that point, so we'll not go over it again. But
right.
They were prepared for an hour and a day and a month.
Yeah.
Right, so depending on the month, we'll just call it 31 days, all right? Because they're referring to a 30-month day, but us modern people understand there's 31 days. So in a month, is that preparation that the angels were prepping beforehand? Pardon?
All the rest have 31, except of course February, and then there's leap years.
So these angels, these four angels that were let loose about the house, were in preparation for this for a month beforehand.
No. It's a certain, they're prepared for a certain hour, day, month, year.
They are, so right, being prepared, but the implication you're making then from that that sentence is, I'm just going to do what I'm told for as long as is necessary.
I think you're reading that backwards. I think this is trying to be very, very specific. Okay. And maybe in English this would be better as a certain day in a certain month in a certain year. Because that's the way, that's what it actually means right there.
They're just sitting ready to go all the time.
Yep, well, like a dog with a steak on its nose.
Or, you know, you could think of, no,
Told,
that's
told
about,
that he can't have it.
oh, I
You
was
know,
going
that
to go
kind
to
of
a bad,
dog with a stake on his nose.
what do you call that movie? The Hangover, Hangover 2. That fucker in The Hangover
Don't know
2 or The Hangover 3, he fed his fighting chickens cooked chicken and cocaine. So, you know, ready to go all the time. That's what that's where I went. All right.
So they're hooked on the cocaine, and they're hooked on the idea that cocaine tastes like chicken.
Cannibalism and drugs. Right? Ready
Well,
to
you know,
fight all the
you got
time.
fighting roosters. I guess that's the way to go. Okay, so yeah, so this is just being very, very specific. You know, and
Right, they
of
implicate. Right.
Sorry.
Can I ask a question? The fact, right,
Sure.
you're saying very specific. So what I'm asking, the fact that they are prepared for an hour, for a day, for a month and a year, that's what they're just doing. They're not doing anything else.
It's your job, yeah.
I wouldn't say your job, because, you know, a fireman is always prepared, but a fireman goes and has a family life and does this and does that and actually has a life. What I'm asking is, are these the fighting chickens and cocaine that just, you know,
No,
even if you're
no.
not fighting, you're just sitting eating your own friends and sniffing cocaine, right? Getting ready to fucking fight. Or do they actually have lives? Is this a side job?
Well, let's not forget that these are the four seraphim around God's throne, the four beasts around God's throne, which are filled with angels.
So these are tanks.
Sure, okay, that works pretty good.
Armored APCs.
They are the storage facilities for all of terraforming.
They are. Oh, these are the terraforming machines.
Yes. These are the storage facilities for terraforming and also sucking up when you're unterraforming.
Right.
So do they have a singular purpose?
Terraform
yes,
hold on.
purpose,
Terraform means to make the planet habitable. So there's no terraforming.
Yeah, take a
there's just
wasteland
wrecking.
and
So you're talking
yeah.
mining and extraction.
Sure. Yeah.
That's what you mean.
Well, not mining, but extraction.
Destruction and extraction.
Sure.
Okay, we'll go with destruction and extraction.
You could say liquefaction and extraction. That'd probably be...
Magnify or lavification.
Hot liquid magma.
Magma.
It's a movie reference.
I can't remember it though, which is why I'm pretending that it's not fun. Just my stupidity.
Dr. Evil says it.
Magma.
Hot liquid magma.
Right. We're just about to get to 200,000 of fucking horsemen. So, on you go with your verse 16.
Okay. Yes. And the number of the army of horsemen, which this just skipped a lot. And this is going to take a lot of explanation. And yes, has everything to do with my context. And the number of the army of horsemen were 200,000. And I heard the number of them. So that's some kind of a multiplication problem. I haven't done that multiplication problem, but if anyone wants to and give us the actual number, that'd be great.
200,000, thousand's 3. So it's 6 makes a million. So it's 200 million.
Wow. 200 million horsemen. Should I read the description of the
big
horsemen?
ass number. I'm just going to make the point again, regardless of what it is. It's the big ass number. They don't have a clue. They didn't take a census.
Right.
It's the biggest number out of all the big numbers.
It's an outrageously large number. Right. Like today we'd say something like Google to replace this idea.
Google? Did you say a Google?
Yeah, Google.
Google. How big's a Google? I'm thinking Googleplex or Google. Yeah.
It's something like a billion trillion or something like that.
A Google.
I don't remember. I'm not making that up. That's a real thing.
Is it spelled Google? Because it's spelled Google.
I think there's only 2 O's in it and no U. Okay, so And thus I saw the horses in the vision, and them that sat on them, having breastplates of fire and of jacinth and brimstone, and the heads of the horses were as the heads of lions, and out of their mouth issued fire, smoke, and brimstone. Yes, sir.
Jacinth.
I'll get to it. Just a second. By these three offensive killing things was the third part of men killed. Okay. So the four angels are there at the corners to kill the third part of men, and this is how the third part of men are killed.
Oh, I don't want to be that fucking one of the bastards that didn't get to do anything, because if there's four surfing and there's only 3 ways to kill people, some bastard just sitting in the corner going, oh, do I get to go again? Is the next Earth my go?
That's horrible. Okay, so moving on then.
But if there's 4 of them and there's only 3 people
resulting in this thing. Now, if you were to remove all of the bodies of water off the earth in a relatively short amount of time, to where there was no more sea,
the fastest way to probably do that would be to irradiate them, but that would kill all the humans.
You mean evaporate the oceans?
Yes.
Oh my God, you're insane! Don't do that.
But why?
That would kill all of us.
Yes, that's the point I'm making. The fastest way to do it would be to irradiate the oceans, but that would kill all of us.
That'd be fast. No doubt that'd be. But I'm okay with them just sticking really big straws down to the oceans and sucking them up with vacuum pumps. I'm okay with that.
Is that not a fucking comic book from the DC universe or something?
I don't know.
An alien. Captain Galactus? Is it Galactus? Galactus is a fucking big ass cunt, comes down things in the earth and sucks the minerals out of it. I think that's Galactus.
Oh. Well, I actually see a lot of religious depth and understanding in art when people think they're being freaking creative and they're not.
You nasty fucking.
They think they're being creative, but they're not. I think they're praying. But that's another story. Okay, so removing the oceans is the thing that they do, and that causes men to die, and these are the things that kill the men. Does that follow so far?
The evaporation of the earth is what? Woe number 1, or what is it? One of these ways. That's one of these weapons.
What?
There's 3 weapons.
Okay.
Yes, you said there's 3 things being used?
No. There's four things being used. They're at the corners. They're the seraphim or angels.
Why, a couple of minutes ago I made that joke.
Yeah, I didn't get it the first time either. Oh, you're counting fire and jacinth and brimstone as 3 things. That's what you're doing, right?
Yeah.
And then by these 3 was the third part of men killed. You're that 3 right there, right? In 18?
That's what I'm looking for. And by these 3, yes,
18.
was the third part of men killed.
Okay, now I'm with you. Okay.
Right? So that's why I'm wondering if there's 4 in the corners and by these 3 ways.
No. There's 3 effects to what the 4 did. It's not they have turns and one of them issues brimstone.
That was the joke, and it took 20 minutes to land.
Okay,
Fuck
I get
me, right?
Now it's much funnier than before. Because before it just didn't make any sense to me at all.
The live chat's pure cocaine chicken. I programmed a command into the bot that now you can just go.
Cocaine chickens.
Yep, cocaine chicken.
Okay, so smart people are such a pain in the ass. Anyway, so all right. I can't even get back on topic. All right, do it. Topic, right. The word brimstone, as a lot of people already know, is a rock that burns. It means a burning rock. That's what brimstone is.
Brimstone,
and the burning rock that brimstone specifically refers to is sulfur. Why, did you already have that?
That's what my question was. Is brimstone not a reference to sulfur?
It is. Indeed it is. And sulfur issues out of the mouths of these horses.
Do you see this? No, go on ahead. Go ahead. Doesn't matter. It's totally irrelevant.
Okay. And if you could bump it up just a little bit where I could see 19.
Oh,
because
do
that's the
apologise.
rest of the
No,
description.
because the audience can't see fuck all for ages.
Okay. Okay, now I can't see 18. For their power was in their mouths and in their tails, for their tails were like unto serpents and had heads, and with them they do hurt. And the rest of the men not killed by the plagues or hadn't repented will die this way.
For their power. So who are they referring to? These angels.
The horses.
The horses.
We're describing the horses.
Right. So the
because sucking up the ocean, whatever the four do, which is suck up the oceans, that releases these horses.
So these four, not terraforming, destroying, and mining, extraction, liquefaction, whatever the fuck you want to call it.
Devices.
These are the four machines that are doing these things.
Yes.
The first thing that they're doing is, with a big straw, sucking up the earth. Sucking up the
waters.
Right?
Yeah.
So that's the first thing they're doing.
Yeah.
The second thing that they are then doing is...
No, the horses is a result of them having done that.
Okay, so the horses isn't a reference to the same thing.
No, it's what happens because they did that.
Right.
Okay.
We need to reread this shit. This is why you're insane. I mean, this book's insane.
And thus I saw the horses in the vision, and them that sat on them, having breastplates of fire and jacinth and brimstone, and the heads of the horses were as the heads of lions, big open mouth, you know.
No. Don't even look at it. I'm gonna do this until I get my point. I've lost it. All right, we need it. It's making very little. Because we're stopping in the middle. You'd read verse
17,
1.
18, 19 here.
Yes, but if you'd read verse 1 and verse 5, I'd take...
Okay.
You know already because you've printed this on your hand. So you can probably write Revelations off now. Okay? So there's an army of...
As long as you don't ask me what the numbers were assigned to each verse.
200 million horses. Okay? And these horses can breathe fire?
Well, they have open mouths like a lion, big mouths. Right? And out of their mouths is their power, and also in their tails. And the tails were like unto serpents. And the tails of which are serpent-like have heads. And that does harm as well.
Reason I'm looking.
And this is how the rest of the people get killed.
Have we not seen of horses in the apocalypse?
Nope, this is the only plot. This is when you look at drawings of the four horsemen and they are breathing fire and stuff. This is what they're talking about.
That's what I'm asking, which is why I looked back and forth to make that.
Yeah, there's nothing about the four horsemen breathing fire. Nothing at all.
Yes, I didn't read that earlier in anything, which is why I did this.
Yep. The only biblical fire reference animal would be Leviathan. Okay.
Ours in the mouth. Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
First 20. You want to hit? I'll move it to the top.
No, I'm just gonna give you the solution to the puzzle, and we can argue over whether or not it's right. There's just a whole bunch of volcanoes. The horse, the big body thing, and then the lion mouth. That's the top of it that's open, and then the tails with heads on the tails like snakes is the lava flowing down the mountains and out into different areas. And yeah, that'll kill you. Go stand in a lava flow, see how you feel. Tell me about it when you're done.
This is the annoyance, because knowing you and liking you, I can see that.
Mm-hmm.
Problem is, there's been other descriptions. I suppose they're all... Each time's going to be...
It's a very visual description here, yeah?
Yeah, but each time a description of lava, right? You're not... Yeah. We would describe lava as lava as lava. But the whole point of this is to describe it each time in what it looks like. You don't see a fucking flying saucer, you see a bird. You don't see this, you see that. There's inference in what it is. Sure. It can all be the same thing.
Yeah, and I think that's consistent throughout the text. And part of the reason for that is that the Old Testament is written in Hebrew. And the way that Hebrew talk about things in their language is different from how the English talk about things in their language.
I do believe the last time we talked about fire and brimstone, maybe not necessarily. Last time we talked about fire and brimstone, we made references to two things. One being a meteorite, and the other thing being a
chunk of the moon, Io.
No. One of them being a meteorite, chunk of the meteorite. I'm talking, or volcanoes.
Volcanoes, yes.
Yes. And you were talking about Yellowstone. So I disagree with this because this is not part of my alien religion, because we've already agreed that my alien religion has no volcanoes.
Has nothing to do with Yellowstone. That's
nothing to do with volcanoes at all. We're against this.
It might be Jellystone.
I disagree with this due to dogma. Okay,
that's fine. That's fine. You're entitled to that. We'll see what comes out in the wash.
Well, let's hear the rest of your heretic. Go on ahead. Verse 20.
That's
heresy.
Hilarious.
Heresy, not heretic.
Yes, heresy. So I know I'm a heretic in your religion. I understand that fully. Let's see, where were we at? We were at 17, 18, 19.
We're at 20. I highlighted it.
20. And the rest of them, I already read this actually, were killed by these plagues, yet repented not of their works for their hands, and they should not worship devils and idols, like the Christians worshiping Yahweh. That's an idol. Of gold and silver and brass and stone and wood, which neither can see, nor hear, nor walk. I want to talk a lot about those three words.
Oh, God. Go on ahead. Morning, Sammy.
Do you notice anything about the words see, hear, and walk?
Descriptions of a personification.
Yes, they're things that living beings do. That's right. And they're low things.
Thank you.
They're not high things. Like it doesn't say, perform science and complex mathematics and philosophy. It says see, hear, and walk.
Okay. So they're a dog.
It's simple. Yeah, it's super
Dogs
basic.
do all of them things better than humans.
Exactly. So it's just really low functions. And talking about physical functions. So it's not even like bragging about how smart they are or anything like that. It's just saying we're freaking physical.
Hold on. No. We're physical? It's not saying that. Is it not making a reference?
It's saying personified, I'm physical.
And the rest of the men which were not killed by these plagues, the three woes. Yeah. Yet repented not out of works of their hands. So they didn't work through anything because they were being tortured. But
no, they repented not of the works of their hands. They didn't say, I'm sorry for the mistakes I've made.
That they should. Well, the way I'm reading this, if I can get my point across the way I'm reading this. So they weren't killed, and they didn't repent because of their works and their torture. Right? So they weren't coerced.
No, they didn't repent their works.
Okay, are you going to let me get my entire thing out from one sentence before you can fucking critique the whole thing?
Maybe. We'll find out.
We'll try again, right? This is going to be the third
I don't know
time.
if I have that much control.
Third time we get to the same point, right? So they've not repented due to their works. Right? That they should not worship devils and idols of gold and silver and brass and stone of wood, which neither can see nor hear nor walk. So the point I'm trying to make is they were not they didn't get repented. How does someone give you repention? That's not even a fucking word. How does someone give you, what is the opposite when someone gives you?
A person can become persuaded and correct themselves and repent a thing they used to believe.
They didn't do that because of torture. Okay?
No.
Oh, fuck me, man. That's the same point I made 3 times. You interrupted me again. I'm trying to, right?
I let you get through it the last time.
I know, but let me fucking... Right? So they didn't repent because they were tortured into it. They did it because they stopped worshipping devils of idols of gold and silver and brass, because none of them can see nor hear nor walk. Amplifying that God would need to be a physical thing to give your religion credit. That's where I went before you interrupted me like 6 fucking times. But I'm wrong.
I can't help it. I'm sorry.
But I'm wrong. That's not how you interpret it. But that's how I seen you going. I just think we just need cocaine chicken. That's it.
Cocaine chickens.
I don't know where type CC, but somewhere got type CC.
You're not only getting protein, you're getting a real pick-me-up with cocaine chicken. It sounds like a fancy dish, doesn't it? What are you having tonight? Oh, we're having cocaine chicken. Ooh, you know, I would take some of that.
I'm feeling a little tired, you know. Good for it. Make it a brunch.
Oh, definitely not. That is definitely not a dinner meal.
Cocaine chicken for brunch.
Yeah, like maybe an early brunch.
I didn't say hello to Sandy. I'm just going to make sure I say hello to Sandy again. No, that was it. Because I seen some other people saying hello.
No, you only said you were going to say it. You didn't say it.
I did.
No, you said you're going to say hello to Sandy. Then you never said hello, Sandy.
We've all
oh,
said
you did. It's just quiet. I missed it. I see.
Okay, so that's how I took it, and you're telling me that from my interpretation of what I know of you, I'm still fucking wrong. Now you tell me what that means.
They wouldn't change their mind, or they couldn't accept the new paradigm. So they're going to die because they chose to stay on the earth, no matter what.
Yeah, so they would not succumb to torture.
No, it's not succumbing to torture or not succumbing to
5
torture.
months of being stung.
When did you stop beating your wife? That's what you just said.
Oh, I did not say that. Literally, previously in the fucking text, there has been 5 months of what we referred to earlier as tracker jackers flying around, stinging them for 5 months. To the point where they to the point. Please let me finish. I'm gonna go. Do you know what? This is easier, right? So, to the point where they were going to want to die but weren't allowed to because death had fled to them. So they've been under 5 months of lovely persuasion by this loving God, right?
It's not
and they will not succumb to torture. So they have decided, I will fucking stay here, I'll blow up with the earth, you can take your alien bullshit and you can fuck off. Ahead, Richard.
That was wrong in every way. I don't know how you could be more wrong than that. I don't know how you could read it so poorly. You know that was 3 years ago that the 5 months happened, right?
Because you've got the how are we not getting to near how many chapters is in Revelations?
7. Right. Divide by 2. 3.5. 3.5 years of the second half of end time.
How many
5 months?
How many verses? Okay, I'm going to
ago.
ask the question again. Just talk over to you the answer. How many chapters is there in? I know I said verses earlier. I'm a dick. How many chapters is there in Revelations?
I think it's 22.
So we're about halfway through.
22. Oh yeah.
Okay, well, going by this, I'm people are being killed and tortured, and we're at the point of the earth being destroyed and stuff. I'm assuming we're coming close to it. I thought maybe 50.
Oh no, it's going to start over.
Okay.
So it is near the end of the story. I wasn't kidding.
So it is near the end of the story.
Oh, this is the end of the story right here.
Right. So I'm seeing it as the end of the story. So that's where I'm coming from my point of view.
Yeah, and we're in the 6th trumpet. This is like all but dead. This is the last thing.
Okay.
There's only 7 trumpets. Yeah.
Yeah. So at the end of it, at the end of the story, these people have decided to stay here. They've been through all of that bullshit.
Oh, yes, they have. Yeah.
Yes. So there was a period in their past, where we're at now, where they were tortured for 5 months.
Sure they were.
Right. So they've went, fuck you and your torture, you loving God.
Why are you assuming or accidentally asserting that the 5-month sting torture is to make them repent? Why do you think that?
I didn't think that.
You did say that.
No, they did not succumb. So this is punishment. This is just pure punishment. Is that what you're saying?
No.
The point of it then?
Well, the sting thing was just so they're busy, so they're not killing each other. Because when people's in enough pain, they just want to let the hell alone.
So this is a control.
Yes.
Okay.
The sting thing was just a control mechanism.
Okay, so for 5 months, 5 days, and whatever the fuck it was, where you are stung to the point where you want to die, that is, so your only other time when you're recovering is to writhe in pain and wait for the next sting coming rather than attacking someone else.
No, one sting lasts 5 months.
You're always in pain, constantly.
Always, 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 always.
As a method of control.
Yes.
So rather than taking the chance, rather than letting these people in this period of time, oh, we need an after party. You up for an after party? Because this is.
No, I'm up for a nap. I'm exhausted.
Oh, right. This is constant pain or cocaine chicken. Like, what the fuck do we do? You know, this.
I have a suggestion. What you could do.
We need to talk about a method.
When you see evidence for a new paradigm shift in reality, accept what's in front of you. I.e., be logical. Don't be an idiot.
You see, you're loading that up again. Don't be an idiot.
I'm just saying. Look, I am right now accepting that you just smoked this. You just lit up a cigarette. Why? Because the evidence changed. You picked up a cigarette. You rolled it. You took up a lighter. You lit it. I'm watching you smoke it. I now believe that you're smoking a cigarette. It's as simple as that.
I have a Christian side. I don't think I have a Christian side. I think I have Christian influences from the culture that I have around. I think this episode has been very good at poignant and pointing out. Verse 21, last wee bit, and we'll end it because that's the 90 minutes.
It's just the rest of the list of the things that they did.
Oh, the bad magic, the bad magic and their sex. Don't be having any bad magic and sex.
By the way, this refers to people in every religion, including Christians. Because when it says things like murders, it's not necessarily talking about ending someone's physical life, but like telling them bad information. That's a murder. And when it says things like sorceries, that's like magic thinking. Most Christians are guilty of magic thinking.
Oh, yeah, I agree with that. Supernatural is openly.
And when it says fornication, it means disalignment with God and valuing the physical stuff, like sex is a physical thing. And Christians talk a good game on Sunday, but during the week, are they acting like that all week? Oh, hell no, they're not.
I think it was released a video that wasn't a video of his debunking exorcism, and it was like whatever this other guy had made. Guy who went to Argentina, and this guy was like, he was performing exorcisms on a daily basis to the people around, like,
Yeah, and like everyone's possessed by a demon, and everyone needs his help, and yeah,
it was unbelievable, man. It was very, it's not a big one, but Professor Dave debunking exorcism.
I'll agree with you. It is literally unbelievable. I don't believe such things happen.
He made a statement he believed in vampires, It's an opening to the supernatural.
Wow.
Once you believe in one, you believe in the others.
And the Jews, and I don't know about the Greeks so much, which this would have been in Greek, but the idea of theft is stealing things of value.
Mm-hmm.
And the primary thing that people steal is truth.
You're getting all philosophical at the end of the stream, Richard.
I'm sorry, but this is what these words actually mean when you look into them. It's the stealing of truths.
Actually,
that kind of
under
theft.
your belief.
It's not taking an apple from the market. That's not what it's talking about. So Christians are guilty of all this: magic thinking, murders, fornication, theft.
Opening.
Guilty as hell.
Oh, I get you in that. Opening to one idea of supernatural opens you to it all. Like conspiracy theories. You're open to one.
And I'll tell you the one least likely to repent is the one that thinks they're already right.
Oh, of course. Well, that's just, the least person to change their mind is stupid people think they're already right.
There you go. which is why I think so many Christians are going to fail. They're going to fail.
It's going to be interesting, Richard, because according to you, this will happen in my expected lifetime, you know?
Yeah.
So,
it's a good place to stop right at the beginning.
You expect it to happen in your lifetime?
Yes, sir.
Do you have, right, okay, I'm going to ask this now while on stream, okay? You live in America, and if, God forbid, anything happened to you, I would find the fucking, put it in your will, man, that I get some of your money to buy me over. It will fly over, right? And I will be at your fucking funeral, whatever type of funeral it is, right?
That's lovely.
And I will do your eulogy, right? After back, okay? Can I say it didn't happen, you were wrong, as my ending stream? And
please do. Please do. And have an extra whiskey on me. Have an extra shot.
No, so that's okay. Just on stream, I can go, it didn't happen in your lifetime.
Aye.
And if, I could
No,
say that, and the fucking
I don't
aliens
think-
could invade and resurrect you because you're only just recently dead. You know?
I know they resurrect those who've been dead for thousands and hundreds of thousands of years. So I guess it doesn't matter how long you were dead.
Well, I don't think they would resurrect you after hundreds of thousands of years. Resurrection after... Well, let me finish, right? Physically, I know that we have, but DNA does degrade. Okay? And when it's gone, it's gone. Regardless of our ability to bring something back, when it's gone, it's gone. Okay?
Sure.
So there is a time limit on how they can look at DNA in fossils, being scientific about it and back in this, that, and the other, and all the rest. But there is a time limit to how long DNA can survive. I wouldn't say that they would resurrect you. I would say that they would clone you.
Fair enough.
Whether
That's
genetic
fair.
memory is a thing, there is some evidence to show. I read one time about genetic memory of small things. Not like, my kids are going to remember me doing this shit. But there is some sort of genetic memory. But
yeah, there apparently is, yeah.
I can't see them going back to the point where they can bring back my memories. But I would say they would be able to bring back the DNA code.
Yeah, no, there is. This is one of the topics in these ancient religion stories that is not well covered. They don't say how they do it.
My neck is already sore. I swear to God, man, it's like 2 inches too fucking high. I need to swap these with these two. It's a work in progress. All right, my neck's fucking killing me. But look at it this way: when I look down, you don't see the top of my head. If it was any lower, it would be this. You're going to see the shine. We don't want the shine.
Even if the camera were higher.
I'm thinking of getting a booster seat, getting the child's old booster seat and putting it in this. No.
You're taller than I am. What are you talking about?
I've got 4 stands, and 2 of them are 1.5 inches bigger than the other ones, and that's how I set my heights, So got the big ones here and the small ones there.
What you need is a hacksaw. And you use the hacksaw on the legs of the tables, and you make them the right damn length.
No. I swapped these 2 stands for these 2 stands, and it'll drop these 2 down 2 inches and raise these up 2 inches, and it might then end up
fair enough.
Look at Richard falling asleep. So there has been...
I am exhausted, no joke, for real, I am. I almost fell asleep waiting for this show to happen. I'm serious.
And it's usually me that falls asleep. Well, I will move back to... Hold on, we need to do this. We're on...
10. I make 10 blue, yeah.
Make 10 blue, and we pop back to that. So, yeah.
Lovely.
I changed the background, if anyone noticed, from the crazy blue thing to this, nice 3D thing. We can change it off. You can tell me... Boop, to
It's space fire rocks. It's like a volcano in space. I like it.
Yeah, I like the red and black. Going with the red and black. Oh, we got a new person. Clearly misunderstood. Hi, welcome.
Clearly misunderstood. What a great name. That's awesome.
But yeah, you've jumped in just at the end, and Richard's too asleep, too falling asleep to have an after party. Richard's.
Hey, look on the bright side. I'm punch drunk, so I laugh easy.
Hang about for half an hour.
I really should not. I'm like, my brain's gone, bro. It's not going to be good for anybody.
Anyway, we tried. I tried. Richard, what have you got coming up?
Sleep. That's what I'm doing. We got the regular Wednesday tomorrow with Big Zebra and Mac the Human, where they come up with things without consulting me and then ask me, and I respond off the cuff. Episode 34.
Blah. 30 blah.
34. We're like 34, 35.
34,
episodes
35. Thanks everybody for coming. We've 15 people watching. If anyone has my Discord, or if anyone has ways of contacting me, if we can get 3 people to contact me, we might do a live stream and talk shit about Richard behind his back. He'll be asleep. He'll have no clue. Yeah, it'll be fun, you know. He'll wake up tomorrow. I'll be back
Works
next
for presidencies. Why not?
What?
Works for presidencies.
So, thanks everybody for coming. Appreciate it all. Shout out for GeoSam for the wee intro that I'm going to try and find if I can run. And yeah, everybody in the live chat, everybody that contributes and all the rest of it. Yeah, reach out. Discord, Twitter, WhatsApp, whatever. If 3 people can get in contact, plus me makes 4. Other than that, thanks everybody for coming. Bye. Think for yourselves, fuckers. Bye.